Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to today's video log. It's currently January 31st, 2025. Just gotta fill my water up. Today has been a great day. I mentioned yesterday that all my, the DKIM, the STTs, all that kind of stuff, it was not cooperating for my inboxes, but it was all set up fixed today. So I got those out, making it happen. Just learning some email marketing. One thing at a time. It's currently, I don't have my contacts in, but it's 11:09 p.m. I need some water really bad. I got to participate again in the second day of Tony Robbins summit. It's pretty cool. He gave some really cool insights. He talked a lot about how our perception on things impacts the way we view the world, and how our viewpoint on the world is a construct of our culture and a construct of the environment that we grew up in and the things that we tell ourselves. I took some notes. Let me hurry and share a couple of those. He talked a lot about personal branding, which I thought was fascinating. And he said, if you think of a soda, think of the first soda. Think of the first computer company, and then think of the first search engine. Most people say Coke, Apple, and then Google. And it's because they have created such a strong brand that it lives rent-free in our minds. When we talk about getting a soda, say, I'm going to go buy a soda, you always say, I'm going to go get a Coke. What do you want? It's not, Coke isn't even, it's just a brand name. It's not even it's a cola. It's technically classified as a cola, but we just classify everything as a Coke. Tony Robbins said that brand is the most important influencer in the entire world, that with a strong brand, you can do anything. So one of the key aspects of a personal brand that you need to have is identifying your competitive advantage. Once you identify your competitive advantage, you dramatically will shift the way that your brand interacts with your ideal client. So he had someone come up on the screen, and they got to, here, I have my glasses right here, and they got to talk about their business and how it helps people and give someone a pitch, basically. And when he was doing this, the person who was giving their pitch, they're like, oh, well, I help people, this and the other. And Tony Robbins was like, does everyone feel like he's genuine? Does everyone feel like he's being honest? And everyone's like, yes, I feel like he's being honest. And then they're like, who would buy from him? And it was 0% of people said they'd buy from him. And Tony Robbins was asking, why do you guys think that is? He's like, why do you guys think that is? And he said, it's not necessarily that people don't trust you. And authenticity, as much as it helps you with your personal brand, it doesn't sell the personal brand. And he said, what sells the brand are results. And what are your results? So people, they like Google because they can find their outcome that they're looking for. So instead, he was like, you need to structure a framework around your brand to where it's just immediate impact on the results that you get people, and it's confidence. So the guy who was giving the example, he has really bad MS. Well, he had really bad MS. He overcame it through a variety of different methods that he experienced. A lot of it had to do with family and changing his habits throughout the day physically, like working out, eating right, things like that. So what he ended up doing was saying, Tony Robbins basically said, look, I help people who have chronic MS that are on the verge of death, and all doctors have said that no medication can help them. And I help them recover and live longer, higher quality versions of their life without medication and without surgery, through eating correct and like this and that. Just immediate punch, straight to the point, pure benefit. And he said that's what you can do to implement that into your business. So I wrote down a couple examples of what that might be and what that might look like. And one of the biggest points I took away from Tony Robbins when he talked about building a personal brand is he said that if you ever wonder why people do not continue to get from you, continue to buy from you, or continue to remember you, you only have to do one thing. And if you do this very single thing more than anyone, you will succeed. And that one thing is adding value. In any world, any situation, the more value you provide, the more of a necessity you are to the existence of everyone else. So he talks about teachers as an example. He says, I think teachers are awesome. They provide value, but to how many people do they provide value to? A singular classroom with singular children. So therefore, they do not make tons of money. And he was comparing a teacher to a hedge fund manager who makes $1 billion a year. So why does this hedge fund manager get to make $1 billion a year and this teacher make 50 grand? And he said because the value that the hedge fund manager makes is that he can double someone's money in 2 years, and he does that for tens of thousands of people. So the value that he provides is basically limitless. He multiplies people's money really quickly, and people pay him a lot of money to do this, right? It's a percentage-based thing. So adding more value naturally makes it so that you make more money, that you have a stronger brand. And he said your personal brand is not 100% on business, and it's not 100% on social media. A personal brand is your identity. And your identity is exactly what, so they coincide together. And he gave an example of you have a personal brand within your relationship with your wife and your husband. You have a personal brand with your family members. You have a personal brand with your friends. And he said, when someone thinks of you, what do they think of? That's your personal brand. The decisions you make every single day will always either positively justify or negatively justify what kind of brand you are. So he always said, you want everyone to think, oh, Tony Robbins, he has 2 words that people always associate his brand with, and it's Tony Robbins results and Robbins energy. So Robbins always has energy, he brings energy, and he brings results. I think that's a really cool thing because he's explained how he has not always in his entire life been this person. He has not been able to provide results. He's not been able to do this, but this is an identity frame that he has established within himself. This identity that where he gets results, it comes from within. He went after that, and he made that happen by consciously every single day everything he did, he focused on getting results and providing value. He provided value way, way before he thought about getting outcomes or anything like that. When he talks about brand, it comes from within first. So when you talk about who you are and what you stand for and what you provide to the world, you think of the experiences you have, the competitive advantage you have with your skills, and then you establish your identity, and therefore that becomes your brand. I thought that was just something that really stood out to me. And in a world where, you try building your personal brand, you have to have results and you have to prove yourself. So it is competitive, but a personal brand gives you a completely unfair advantage in the marketplace. That's why it's so important to build it. I'm really impressed. He does a lot of cool things. I don't want to continue to go on and on, but that was probably one of the biggest takeaways I learned from today. And then my wife and I, we had some salsa, and we watched 2 Fast and the Furious movies tonight. It's kind of fun, relaxing. We have never seen them before, so we watched the first Fast and Furious, and then we watched 2 Fast, 2 Furious tonight. Now, my eyes have been bugging me. Like, they itch really bad. I've been blinking a ton. I think it has to do with sleep, them being dry, yada, yada. But I'm going to get some good sleep. Got a lot of things I want to get done tomorrow, so I think that'll be good. And overall takeaway from this, when it comes to brand and brand creation and identity, it all stems from within and what you tell yourself. Who you are as a person, what you stand for, and the standard that you hold yourself to. You can't expect your brand to display results when you yourself do not expect results out of yourself. If I expect people to trust me, but I can't trust myself, how can they do that? So if I tell myself that I'm going to do something and I choose not to do it, will someone else believe me when I tell them I'm going to do something for them? The likelihood is very slim. So creating the identity, creating the brand within yourself, and being so true to yourself and providing so much value to the marketplace that you become irreplaceable, that everyone trusts you. Naturally, you can have the coolest story and people can trust you. But when your story and the experiences that you've had in your life provide results for people who might be experiencing something similar to you, that's where those two things intersect. That's where magic happens. So I want to do a lot of contemplating, a lot of thinking, a lot of processing around this subject. And I really want to hone in on these things because, I'm young. I'm 23. I'm not by no means out of time. I think I underestimate what I can do with the time I have right now. Like just in my life, sometimes I think, oh, I'm older and things like that, but you don't have to be 18 to do things. Like you can do things whenever you want. And I think, oh, I could be 35 and do things, but that's like 10 years from now, 12 years from now. It's crazy. I gotta keep going. He's 65 years old. He's been providing value for so long. He's built a strong personal brand. Every single day is a testament of what you do. So anyway, this is about a 15-minute video. I've gone on these tangents. Today's January 31st, 2025. It's 1 month down. It's grind time. And I'm really excited to look back on this. I'm still curious what I'm going to name this journal, but for everyone watching this, if you end up watching through the whole thing, eventually you rewatch this, whatever it may be, consider looking internally at yourself and figure out what kind of brand do you want to display to yourself. Who are you as a person? What is your identity and what do you stand for? How will you provide more value to the marketplace? Anyone watching this, you want to leave a comment? I'd love to hear kind of what you're currently working on and the progress and the things that you're trying to do with your life, what you're wanting to do, and I'd love to hear how you're going to provide more value to the marketplace. I will be keeping you updated with how I will be doing that. Anyway, it's been fun talking to you guys, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.